My name is Suwei, I'm 20 years old. I run a $3 million per year consulting company while being a full-time university student and playing D1 basketball in London, all at the same time. People always ask me, how do I manage everything? And the honest answer is, I'm not working harder than you. I just have a very simple system that I follow, and I've been able to trick my brain into superhuman levels of productivity. Now, these are the 10 hacks that you can implement today, from the least important to the one that changed everything. The first hack is to cut out all caffeine and nicotine. Now, I can easily go over all the research case studies and proof that it's bad for you, but the worst thing that affected me was the psychological implication. Every time I wanted to lock in, I had to have a coffee by my side. I had to have a Zen in my mouth. Nicotine literally hijacks your dopamine receptors and increases the baseline level of output that is optimal for you. And so even though it works now, in the long run, when you keep on relying on these two things, it'll do you more harm than anything. Instead of drinking something or relying on an external source of energy, I simply played music in the background, and that triggered the same psychological implication as wanting to lock in. Second hack is do a blood test. This was quite literally the easiest hack that I ignored for the longest time, but changed everything for me. You need to understand your body, what it actually needs, what it's lacking, and the only way to do that is by doing a blood test. Now, needles are a bit scary, so I don't blame you, but I promise you, if you get it done and you place this exact SOP prompt into Claude, it'll give you everything that you need from A to Z on the exact supplement stack that you need in order to take your energy levels and your focus to the next level. So this is the exact supplement stack that I take every single day. The first thing we have is magnesium glycinate. This really helps out with muscle growth, muscle recovery, relax and help you sleep better, but it won't make you over-reliant the same way that melatonin does. The next thing I have is fish oil. Now, I am on my laptop and my phone chronically. I have 7 to 8 hours screen time because that's my work. I get a good amount of eye strain and my eyes get a bit red if I look at the laptop too long. This really helps with that, and it helps with HDL levels. The next thing I take is ashwagandha. Business in general is always very stressful, and there's always something popping up, especially when you're dealing with a lot of people and especially when you have to manage a lot of teams. This really helps out because it tones down everything. It helps me make decisions clearer because I'm not operating from emotions. So that's ashwagandha. The next thing we have is vitamin D. Now, I am from Malaysia. I used to live in the sun. I used to have the sun every single day, and then I moved to London where it's always rainy and cloudy. That means that my energy levels are naturally lower because I'm in a climate like this. So I take vitamin D. I take 2 to 4 tablets of this every single day, 2 in the morning, 2 at night. And this really helps me with overall energy levels, and I don't actually crash at 2 to 3 p.m. I can keep going until 8 to 10 p.m. This really helps out. The last thing that we have on the list is creatine. Creatine is something that I take for the gym. Really helps out with muscle growth, muscle recovery, makes my pumps look better, all of that. This also really helps out with focus, so I take 2 of these before the gym every single morning. So this is the entire supplement stack. Again, I'm not a doctor by any means, but this is what works for me. Don't copy it, do your blood work, figure out what you need. This is what I need. The third hack is stop relying on willpower. Use AI and apps to your advantage. I used to struggle with chronic screen time simply because all my work is online. You click on a video and then you end up watching the video for 2-3 hours. So what I've done is I've basically created all these systems. I literally physically cannot scroll more than 3 times or something will pop up. And the reason why this is important because this keeps my dopamine baseline so low that the boring work that I do in my business feels fun because I'm not used to scrolling. For screen time, use Opal. This is how my setup looks like. I literally have everything blocked. It's on Monday to Sunday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. I essentially block everything social and video, so I can't watch Amazon Prime, Discord, Facebook. Everything that you can imagine being distracting, I can't actually access it. Now, if for some reason I need to access it for, let's say, research, all I have to do is I can go here. It'll make me wait for 6 seconds, and then the max I can use is 15 minutes. And then finally, it allows me to actually use Instagram. Let's say I click end break. As you can see, I literally cannot physically enter Instagram. If I want to go to YouTube, it doesn't work. But I can only access it once I stop a break, 5 minutes, and then it allows me to go on YouTube. Now the next is Rise. Rise is super killer. This is extremely good if you want to track where all your time is going. When we say that you're working 10-hour days, how many of those 10 hours are actually going towards the right things? And this allows you to do that. I have my calendar built out like this. I can look at a week-to-week basis. As you can see, I can look at exactly what I'm doing. I was refining system components, developing productivity systems, all of that. I was actually writing out this video that you're seeing right now. The beauty about this is that you can see exactly where your time is going, whether or not it's productive, whether it's miscellaneous, what is going on. I'm someone that always has ideas in their head. And for me, I used to go on my notes app and just type it in. But this has been an absolute game changer for me. This goes on the back of your phone. And so it's with you all the time. And whenever I'm coming up with a thought, instead of me writing it down, I press on this button for 3 seconds. It'll automatically record everything that I'm saying. And then the moment that I'm done recording, I can press on this again for 3 seconds and it'll create a complete AI note summary based on exactly what I went over with actual steps at the end, it's a game changer. The fourth one is calculate your dollar per hour rate. This is something that my mentor taught me, and this changed everything. We went from making around 200 to 400 the next month, simply because I got more time back that I can put towards work and the business, or even just what I wanted to do in my free time. Every single person has a dollar per hour rate, and you can essentially outsource everything below this dollar per hour rate as long as you put that towards work and you make more money. So let's say your dollar per hour rate is $100 per hour. If you spent 2 hours cleaning your house, you may think that, hey, I saved money. I spent 2 hours, I cleaned my house, everything is sorted. But you could have paid someone $50. What you didn't realize is you spent $200 to save $50. And so you actually lost $150 because you didn't outsource your cleaning to someone that could have done it for $50. If you're cooking your own meals, you can easily hire some type of meal prep service or Uber Eats. If you're driving around, you can easily call an Uber and take calls while in the car. If you're managing your own financials, you can hire a bookkeeper. Man, I would even go to the extent of not even buying groceries, and I have on Amazon, you can buy things on a subscription. So every single week we have new sets of paper towels, new sets of groceries, new sets of cloths, new sets of everything in our house, so I don't even go to the grocery store. Now, if you're a baller and you make a lot of money, hiring an executive assistant is the best thing that you can do. I have an EA, and she literally books flights for me, she books hotels for me, she calls Ubers for me, she makes sure that all my stuff is dialed in, she handles all my bills, all my payments, my electric bills, all of that with my company card. I don't have to worry about anything. I can spend time with my loved ones, my friends, my family, do more work instead of just worrying about all these little things that pop up in your life. This will change your fucking life, I'm telling you. All right, so I know some of you guys will want a full walkthrough on exactly how to calculate your dollar per hour rate, so let's do it. My revenue last month was 408 and my profit was 311. And so what I do is I tell this Claude, hey, my profit was 311,000. I'm just gonna give a rough estimate, 311K. And I worked a good amount. I worked 7 hours every single day. You can cross check with my Google Calendar. What is my dollar per hour rate? I don't work on Sundays. If you're not using AI for everything, I don't know what you're doing. So that means my profit per hour is 1,700 pounds. What is this in USD? My per hour rate is $2,170 per hour. That means everything below $2,000 per hour I can outsource, and I'll actually make money on that if I just put it towards work or put it towards something that I actually enjoy. This is an easy way to calculate your dollar per hour rate. The fifth one is don't work in the same room that you sleep in. This is such a small thing, but keep your bedroom just for sleeping and just for rest. And so whenever you enter that bedroom, the only thing that you're doing is you're switching off your mind, you're switching off your brain, and you're sleeping. When you do everything in one same spot, your brain subconsciously can't figure out what it needs to do, whether it needs to work or whether it needs to sleep. And it confuses your mind and your body. Treat your room like a temple. I avoid having anything in my room completely. Even my phone, I charge outside here. My laptop, I charge outside here. Emit as little radiation as possible. Everything that you charge, everything that you have plugged into the wall that has electricity, try to keep it outside your room because those emit radiation, which can affect your sleep. The sixth one is don't set an alarm clock. This is piggybacking off of the last one. Your sleep is the most important thing that you can do to increase your focus and productivity, so protect it. Instead of having an alarm clock for when you wake up, have an alarm clock for when you go to bed. Your energy is everything, and especially at a higher level, you can't operate from being tired and from being drowsy and sleepy. Give your body as much rest and sleep as it needs, and when it has enough, it'll naturally wake you up. Every night my phone rings at 10:30, and that means it's a signal for me to get ready for bed and try to be in bed at 11 p.m. sharp. Now, as perfect as I want to seem, that's just not the case sometimes. Sometimes I can sleep at 12, sometimes I can sleep at 1. But the most important thing is that I'm not having an alarm clock that rings in my ear and wakes me up and makes me feel all drowsy in the morning. I sleep as much as I want simply because decision making is so important for me at this level of business that I'm operating at, that I don't want to risk sleeping less and working more, but operating at a lower frequency. Stop setting alarm clocks in the morning and start setting them at night. Now, the seventh hack is stop doing just weight training. When people think of being healthy and getting in shape, people think that, oh, I have to lift a bunch of weights and go to the gym every single day, but that type of training style is good, but not for energy levels. If you're anything like me, then you want to train every single day, you want to sweat, you want to feel good about yourself, and what you're suffering from is OTS. It stands for overtraining syndrome. I didn't think this was a thing, but it actually is a real thing. This essentially states that you feel like you need endorphins or you can't function properly, which makes you feel in other terms, shit about yourself. I remember when I was first getting in the gym, I would train every single day. I'd eat as much protein, drink all the creatine, pre-workout, everything, and I always crashed after the gym. And it was because my training split wasn't optimal. You should have a hybrid workout routine, and what this means is still do your strength training in the gym, but have zone 2 cardio where you go on hikes, you go on incline walks. Have zone 3 cardio where you're doing basketball, running, football, do mobility exercise like stretching and yoga. All of these things are important. I'll give you an example of what my routine looks like. On Monday, I did a chest and shoulders workout. On Tuesday, I did a high rock circuit. I got my cardio, I got my blood pumping. Wednesday was a body weight workout, full body, just a bunch of push-ups, squats, pull-ups, dips. Thursday, we went on an 8-kilometer run. Friday, I did swimming. I did 30 laps of freestyle and 10 laps of breaststroke. Saturday, I played basketball, and Sunday, I took it easy. Switch up your workouts, do different things, have some fun, try different sports, and your body will thank you for it, and you'll get more energy levels from it as well. The 8th hack is don't have more than 2 routine habits. The reason why I say this is because everything above 2 is sludge. It's extra things that you have in your workflow that delay the work that you actually need to do to get done. I've seen a lot of people have these crazy morning routines where it's, they wake up, they meditate, they journal, they ice bath, they hit the sauna, and then they drink their supplements, they ground, and then they go work. And it's like, half your day is already fucking wasted. There's no point of doing all that bullshit. Let's be honest. Find 2 habits that really make a difference in your life, stick to those, and only do those, and then get to work. For me, that's meditating and journaling. Journaling really helps me because I'm always wanting to chase that new outcome of that new record month. And even though that's great in business, it can be very easy to not be happy with where you are. And so writing my journal allows me to practice gratitude. So this is a 5-minute journal, and it really means what it says. It's a journal book where you talk about what you're grateful for, what would make today great, and daily affirmations. It takes not even 5 minutes. I think it literally takes 1 minute for me to fill all of this out. And then at the end of the day, I talk about what are the highlights of the day and what did I learn today. It is such a simple thing, but especially since you're always wanting more as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, it's very easy to get caught up in not being grateful for the situation that you're in because you want to achieve this other outcome, and you feel like happiness only comes when you achieve this goal. Happiness comes from enjoying every single day, and so I've been using this for the last 2 months, and it has been an absolute game changer. I wrote it on my birthday. It was like 2021, blessed to be able to spend my day with my loved ones. This is heading in the right direction. I hit 25K yesterday. I have this on my bedside table. I fill this out the moment I wake up, in the moment right before I go to bed. Super easy to be grateful and just happier. Meditating allows me to be in control of my thoughts, actually be aware of what I'm thinking, and make me realize that, hey, some of these feelings are temporary. It's not how I am, it's just how I feel with the current state that I'm in. For those that don't know, I grew up with severe ADHD for the majority of my life. I could not sit still. I was hyper and I was extremely emotional. I threw temper tantrums all the time. And so these 2 things really kept me grounded. Find out what works for you and do it. All right, these hacks are only gonna keep on getting better. The 9th one is don't work on Sundays. It can be very hard to shut off your mind and always want to work because you think that you're getting ahead. Even though those are amazing things, taking Sundays off has allowed me to do exactly that by doing less. I take Sundays off all the time to just sit down, reflect on how the week has gone, what did I do well, what did I do not so well, what can I do better, what I need to do the next coming week. It really allows me to be hypercritical of what I'm doing on a week-to-week basis, and especially as a founder, wherever you put your time ultimately dictates whether or not your business grows. I also have hobbies outside of work. I'll let the other two get to that. All right, so when I say hobbies, not everything should be about work. For me, it's so important to wind down. My hobbies are basketball, reading, chess, like a bunch of boring shit if I'm being honest. But something that's helped me wind down is just having something like this. I got this from my girlfriend for my birthday. And it's just a nice vinyl. I listen to a lot of Giveon. It's so cool, you know, it's just like a way to wind down, way to chill, have the candle on, put on a movie, like, that's what I'm talking about. Like, you don't have to just work all the time. It's a marathon, not a sprint, and have fun with it. All right, so the last and final hack that I have for you that changed everything for me was not taking calls every single day. I have set days where I only take calls, and I have set days where I only work on deep work activities. The reason why is because you are constantly putting on different caps and trying to be the person that can manage the team, but then also trying to be the person that can make opportunities for the team and do all of these things, and you overwhelm yourself and you spread yourself thin. You need to have set days for specific topics and specific tasks and specific calls. This is what my calendar looks like. As you guys can see, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday are the days where I take calls. And then Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday are the days where I actually do work. And you can see how intentional I am. The only thing that I'm doing on Thursday is learning about AI, learning investing, and that's it. I don't have a million things that I'm doing on each day. And then I also have my Notion where I have everything on my to-do list. And as you can see, I'm basically done with everything that I need to do today. On top of that, I have it for every single one of team. Being intentional with your time like this is gonna make such a difference. Intention and the little intricacies to detail is what will allow you to get ahead of your competition. And that's what I've done in order to get to this point. These are the 10 hacks that I've learned in my 5 years of being in business and trying to balance everything that I'm doing on the professional side with the school, with the basketball, with the social life and everything. And this is what has worked for me. Take it with a grain of salt. I don't need you guys to implement everything. Implement 1 or 2 things that you think will really help you, and you'll see a drastic difference and drastic change. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.